I have one of my platform statements might be a little bit controversial in the sense that I really want to overhaul how Aboriginal students are represented at the Kwantlen Student Association. Currently, we have a hierarchy model that I talked about in a different tape, and I want to reverse it so it's a bottom-up model. I also would like to abolish the position of the Aboriginal student representative for a number of reasons. One, I think it's important that we move away from a mainstream manner of representing ourselves and return to an Aboriginal way of representing ourselves to the student association, to the university, and so forth. And I think we've got to sit down and work with the university around constitutional changes to make this happen. So I'm proposing that if I'm elected, I want to do this in two phases. One is I want to build kind of an Indigenous circle or an Indigenous constituency association. You know, if you're a member of Parliament or a member of the Legislative Assembly, you're in Ottawa or Victoria all the time. But at home in your own community, you have what's called a constituency association that can speak on your behalf. And a couple of times we've had representatives who, for some reason or whatever, had to resign or quit or whatever, and there was a lack of voice. So there were a lot of decisions made while we had no official representation, with the student council not knowing who to talk to. So to relieve this, when we don't, for those times, we don't have a representative, we have the constituency association that can speak. Secondly, I want us to develop more Aboriginal clubs. I realize that the KSA club format really says one club, but the problem with that is then we have one board of like-minded people. So I would like to work with KSA to create one Aboriginal club, but build within the mandate of the club an ability for all of the different Indigenous student interests to be incorporated into that. I'm not pretending to know what that looks like, but that's something that I think we need to do. So stage one of representational overhaul is to build structures for new voices through a constituency circle and through a KSA Indigenous club. Then the second part is, now that we've got voices, what is the role of the Aboriginal students representative? Certainly it's not to be that authoritative go-to person. I totally reject that model. If anything, it's probably a communication. I'm not sure how to say this. You take direction from your constituency circle, right? And then you share that. You're not called to make decisions. You're just called to share with the overall council what's happening with the Indigenous students at the university. And finally, if the political appetite's there, let's just abolish the position and return to a more traditional way of intergovernmental or interpeople relationships. So that's the ideas that I have about representative overhauling.